Also, I wanted to let you know that you're being recorded. So mute yourself, whatever. If you want to put something in the chat, ask a question, please do so. And we will try to get to your questions as speakers get up and go. Not all, we're still missing one speaker. Just so excited about today. And thank you all for signing up. I pulled a card for today. It's Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle. And I thought it was so appropriate because it is Yang. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me see, speaker view. Let me change the view here because we're going to need it. Let's see. Let's see that. Let's see how that goes. Okay. If I could get everybody to mute except for MJ at this point, that would be great. Okay. Can everyone see this? I don't know. Let's see. Yes or no? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So Yang, that's the masculine, creative action energy. So it's a perfect time to not only set intentions, really well thought out intentions, but also to put action behind those intentions, even if your action is to consciously be still and sit quiet, which is usually what I have to do, which is the hardest action I can possibly take, is to shut up and be quiet and be still. And that's been something that has gone on all throughout my entire life. So, I'm just gonna tell you that I really think that's needed at this time. So, without further ado, I want to please call MJ, my partner with Ascension School of Spirituality, and she's going to tell you a little bit about this beautiful grid that she's created. So let me know, MJ, when you're ready. You need to make sure you unmute.
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Great.
I woke up this morning and knew I wanted to put a grid together, but I had no idea what it would be or what it would turn out to be. And the Star of David kept coming to me. And I didn't know why it was appropriate until I started. The Star of David is, as everyone knows, a hexagon, but it is actually two intertwined triangles. My interpretation is, as above, so below. We are divinely guided on this earth. So my first triangle from the heavens is a clear quartz, two amethysts connected by amethyst. And the earth to me is represented by carnelian, fire quartz, labradorite, and it is connected by peridot. What I didn't realize until I started was Star of David talks to our heart chakras. So as a generator, I'm putting down this heart quartz. And then the spirit of Sally's intention, this clear quartz crystal. And it is for us to embrace the complexities of what we resist the most.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I'm starting this ceremony. This may be backwards to you, but I'm calling in the ancestors. This is the ancestor of the Winter Solstice by Marianne Golden. And I am calling in all of our ancestors from the north, from the south, east, west, sending unconditional love and gratitude to the opening of our winter solstice.
With that said, Coby, will you please? Thank you so much. Oh, that's great. That just puts me just right in the place. That just puts me right in it, man. Right in it. Oh, so glad to have you all. Wasn't that beautiful? Thank you, MJ. That's gorgeous. Thank you, Coby. That was Coby Wier. And we are going to actually go to Coby and Allison, and we're going to talk a little bit about well, first of all, I take that back. I'm gonna start with a little bit of astrology, if y'all don't mind. I'm gonna change that. Okay, let's just talk about let me change this so y'all can see my big mug. Okay. Can y'all see me more than anybody else? That's the most important thing. Okay. I'm just teasing. Okay. So the winter solstice, I think that most people in this room really know what about the solstices and the equinox and the energy behind them. But for those of you that are really new to it and how we kind of approach it is I love looking at Coby and Allison's background. There's all these water buffalo and animals behind him, just feeling real. I love it. Okay. So what the winter solstice is, it marks the beginning of Capricorn season. Okay, but all the solstice and the equinox, they all mark the beginning of the cardinal signs in the zodiac. So that's going to be Aries, which is fire, Cancer, which is water, Libra, which is air, and Capricorn, the very last one. Oh, are you Capricorn? I haven't looked at your chart yet. Capricorn is earth, very earthy. We always think about Capricorn as being very serious and studious and almost and can be curt and severe. But really, Capricorns are more than that. The Capricorn energy, and if you think you don't have any Capricorn in your chart, you're wrong. You have Capricorn somewhere in your chart. So if you say, oh, no, that's not me. Oh, no, that's not me. You've got it somewhere. You've got these traits somewhere. You just have to figure out which house it is. So, Capricorn, it being an earth sign, it's also very practical. And it really wants to achieve, and it gets down on itself if it doesn't achieve. So it feels like it has to work harder and be more serious than most. Someone needs to mute because I'm hearing an echo. Okay, so with that being said, a lot of people think that's all they are. All they're doing is worried about their legacy. But the Capricorn energy is far more than that. The symbolism for Capricorn energy is a sea goat. And the top half is a goat, meaning very determined, if you've ever been around goats, they will do just about anything to get what they want, to get where they want. They'll run you down, run you over, butt you out of the way to get what they want, to achieve, right? But the bottom half of this symbol is a fish. And we always, that's a softer, more intuitive, spiritual, really connected to dreams and intuition. That's the two sides of a Capricorn, determined, yet really able to tap in to that beautiful intuition and that okay, this is what I know needs to be done. They're very gifted that way, and can become a very powerful sign. It also is, hold on just a second, let me let this person in. Just keep that in mind when you're talking. It's ruled by Saturn. So wherever Saturn is in your chart, that's going to play a lot with how you're going to achieve, how you're best going to access intentions and actions that you're going to take, how you're going to come in alignment with this intention that you set. Are you going to need to dream about it? Are you going to need to be ultra realistic? Are you going to need to talk it out with someone? Or do you just need to get out and run a mile I know I personally don't, but if you're going to run a mile to think, be able to think, to be able to meditate, on it. So that's how you're going to access it, because Saturn, Capricorn, wants you to achieve in this life, use discipline. So that's the point where we are. We're at the end of the year. It's time to reflect back on what worked, what didn't. Be grateful for all of it. If it didn't work, it probably wasn't for you. All right. And then there's so much more in your chart that's going to help you set intentions. So if you can't really tap into that, you might want to consider talking to either an energy practitioner or an astrologer or something like that. There's some good deals out there on all those levels, just because it's Christmas. But I know specifically, the Ascension School has all kinds of ways that you can connect in. But for this particular solstice, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to feel like you are at the beginning of a new year until probably around January 20th. And some of that is because Mars is already in retrograde in Gemini. So our action is kind of delayed. It's a good time to think slower, to act on what we say, to think about what we say before we say it, rather than to do it impulsively. It's a good time to kind of cool it down a little bit, slow it down a little bit. But at the same time, if you're wanting to get something done in a hurry, you're probably going to be a little frustrated. We're going to have 2 planets in retrograde at the beginning of the year. Mercury will go into retrograde on the 29th. We all know that causes delays and, technical problems with our computer and communication issues and all that stuff. So it's going to be kind of a double whammy at the very beginning of the year. You want to be a little slow on the forward of it. Give yourself some grace. But by about the 20th of January, you're going to feel, okay, now we're in 2023. That's not entirely a bad thing. So many times we come out of the chute really fast and we don't have a plan. It just gives us more time to plan for our intention, align with it, and embody it. And that, whether you do that through visualization, whether you write it 1,000 times, whether you pray about it, meditate it, I recommend all of these things. That's really what it's called for. We've got 4 planets in Capricorn. So this is for people that do have a lot of Capricorn, that are Capricorns, Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. This is a very important time for you. We've got the sun in Capricorn, obviously, Venus, Mercury, which will be in retrograde, and then also Pluto, which is going to make its first appearance I think it's in April, makes its first appearance. It leaves Capricorn, y'all, for the first time in 20 years. It's going into Aquarius for about a month and a half. So that's going to be huge for this year. So look, I think I've written some things. Look up that date, whatever those dates are that it's going to be. I'm sorry, I should have put it in here. But that time period, that month and a half, is going to give you a flavor of what the next whatever amount of years are. It's always an erratic kind of orbit. So that's where the transformation is going to happen in the world, which is going to be Aquarius. But where do you have Aquarius? Okay. So where you have Aquarius is where everything's just going to be, wow, this is fast. This is amazing. This is ingenious. This is beyond the futuristic idea I had for things. Okay. What else did I want to talk about? So Capricorn, not only serious matters, but also if you access any kind of earth energy like Capricorn through water, then you're going to be able to talk about, you're going to be able to best access that through listening to music, through the dreams that you have, using your intuition, magic, just, praying, anything spiritual, using, any kind of cards or reading the Bible, anything that helps you connect with divine. That's what you're really going to want to do during this next period, before we go into Aquarius. Okay. And then I talked about Mars and retrograde. And then, I think I talked about that. Katie barred the door in March, because then we've got, Jupiter's going to Taurus. We've got Saturn going to Aquarius. I mean, y'all, it's going to be crazy. It's really going to be crazy. So with that, I am going to ask Coby, and I gave y'all a little bit more time. I'm going to ask Coby and Allison to.
Yes. Can you hear me? I can't hear you anymore.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Am I just supposed to go?
Yeah, you're just supposed to go. Hey,
Coby,
Coby, y'all tell them. I'm gonna let everybody give their own bios, because nobody can talk about you or say what you want to these beautiful souls that are in this room like you. You know what I mean? Like,
gotcha.
Well,
first of all, I'm a Libra. So we'll go ahead and correct that. And I do definitely have Libra traits. I recently started on a bit of a journey. I got, involved with you and kind of met you serendipitously, and it just kind of, the ball started rolling. But I was going through a really difficult time in my life, a little self-pity and this and that. And I woke up and said, I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. And then everything just started rolling. And a funny thing that we were talking about intentions. And this morning I'm at work, and luckily I work in an environment where I can put some headphones in, and I do a lot of listening to podcasts and this and that and information while I'm working. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking of intentions and how am I going to approach this? And as I'm doing that, I was like, well, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to go check the idiot box Facebook, see what's going on, kind of erase my head for a little bit. And the first thing that comes on there is a lady that does big festivals. She does one in Key West, and she does one in Colorado. And all of a sudden, she wants to be my friend on Facebook, which is, being a musician, that's a huge deal for me. I've always wanted to play these big festivals. And I was like, well, that's, I put that out there, and here it is on the day that we're going to talk about intentions. So I was like, that's really something. I mean, I want to get through this without crying. I mean, it's. But the way I do music, as far as intention, music is kind of something that it just happens. You hear a lot of athletes, musicians say the zone. I don't know if anybody's heard of the zone, where just kind of the energy just kind of comes in and then it just goes to my fingertips and then it comes out. There's not really any planning. There's not any real, it just happens. And then from that raw material, then I can start planning and manipulating and making it into music. But that original spark or energy that comes in, where that music comes from, it just happens. Even on stage, it doesn't happen all the time, but there are moments in that zone, and I think you hear athletes talk about it a lot, where you can't hit a wrong note. You can't, everything just is magical. And it doesn't happen very often, but it does. I know we're talking about intentions. I'm kind of digressing a little bit. I found a thing recently where a gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about the heart. And I learned a technique from him about putting my hand on my heart. And instead of asking for things or wishing for things, what he had said about that, and which I took to heart, when you wish or want things, you're automatically saying they don't exist. Now, if you give thanks for something, then you're making that exist. And so I started using that technique, and it has helped me immensely. I sit there at night with my hand on my heart. This is the computer. This is the brain, the real brain. This is the rational one. This is the for real one. And I do it every night. And I say what I'm thankful for that hasn't happened yet, that I want to happen. That's how I set my intentions. I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for that in my life. And the funny thing is that I'm making it happen. and I see it. I saw it today, first thing this morning. So it's a wonderful thing. And that's how I do my intent. That's how I get it out there.
That's beautiful. I've heard that said too, that if you're coming from, oh, I wish this could happen, or I want this to happen, or something like that, then that's coming from a place of lack. And I'm stealing that from somebody because I heard it from somebody else. But kudos to them. I'm sure whoever I heard it from probably heard it from somebody else too. But putting your hand on your heart helps me so much too. And I learned that from the mentors at the Ascension School of Spirituality. In my meditation group that we've been going now for gosh, almost 4 years, girls. There's a lot of people in here from that group. And they have fostered me along. So listening to you're fostering somebody out there right now. And so kudos to you, because I know this is a jump for you. This isn't like being on stage, and although this is your wheelhouse, you just don't know it yet. This is your wheelhouse, and it's going to make your music better. It's going to make everything bigger and better, and stuff's just going to start flowing. It's going to be beautiful. Not to say there's no bumps in the road, but when you start coming in alignment spiritually, and you make your mind up, hey, I don't want to be an unhappy person anymore. Kudos to you, man. I can't wait to come see you at the festival.
It's I tell you, it not only has it improved my outlook on life, it's improved our relationship. Our relationship with my children. Everything has improved. But I went from sinking into that couch, being a miserable human, to going, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to live. And I wasn't living, I was dying. So now it's time to live. And it's been a big change. It's happened very quickly. Sometimes it's overwhelming. I mean, I'm tearing up just talking about it. It's kind of
good.
But it's okay to be in touch. And that's another thing, being a 51-year-old male, it's okay to have emotions. I worked so hard as a younger man not to show emotions. And that was kind of an outlet for music for me, was that's how I expressed my emotions. Now I'm getting it a little bit easier, and I'm getting over the stigma of actually saying, yeah, I have emotions. I feel like everybody else. I'm not this tough as nail kind of guy.
Yeah. So what you're tapping into is that beautiful masculine yang right there, the creative masculine yang, which we all need it today. And while we're at it, will you please, we're talking about your relationship with Allison, but Allison, tell us about you. And I know you're a wonderful photographer. Your work is so beautiful. It's just, it's like, oh my gosh, how did she do that? And I was so touched when I cried.
Oh.
It was oh my gosh, it's beautiful. If y'all have not seen her work, it's amazing. And if you haven't heard Coby's music, please check him out, because he's amazing. He comes from good stock. And so he obviously embodied that as well. So Allison, tell us about you, and tell us about your path. I know you've been kind of on the spiritual path for a while.
I have, yes. My name is Allison Cromer, and I am also a children and family photographer. And I started my spiritual journey as a very young child. My mother, when she was 17, attempted suicide, and during that, she had an out-of-body experience. And, back then people just didn't talk about things like that. And so her parents had told her, don't ever tell anybody that. They will think that you're crazy. And so when we were born, she felt like she had someone to talk to about that, that she could. And so I followed her around all of my life. And I do believe that she was searching for the answers to maybe what had happened to her. And when she passed in 2015, things just started landing in my lap. And that's kind of where my big spiritual journey kind of started. And I started with meditation and intentions, and photography also landed in my lap at that time too. And I use intention a lot with photography. for family sessions mainly, because it's really difficult for families to get comfortable, but that's what I want them to be. I want them to be comfortable. I want them to feel like they're at home goofing around. And because if you do that, then you capture who they are as a family. So I always set my intentions before I ever meet them, just to be really energetic and happy, and try to pull that out in them as well. I meditate on it, and a lot of times with my intentions during meditation, I just kind of put all of my intentions into a bubble, and then I just let that float out into the universe, and let the universe take hold of it and bring me what I need from that.
That's a great visual.
Yeah.
That's a great visual. And I know some people really can, that's how they connect.
Yeah.
They got to have a visual to connect to. I think that sound is really the way I connect more. But I know that occasionally if I can get like a visual on something, like a bubble floating off, or I don't know if Peaster is here today, but Jennifer Peaster, but she did something with a rose, and I was like, and Joanne, I know she's here. She talks a lot, Joanne Miller, Peace Prophetess. She talks a lot about light, and so does Martha Jensen. And, so this visual thing has got to also help. Like, I wonder, for instance, like if you're doing a photography session with a family, do you think that when they see the final product, that helps them set an intention for a happier life, to hold on and be together?
Yeah, I believe that, because, and my favorite part is whenever I can make a mother cry. I know that sounds terrible.
Yeah, because
that it's
that connection to the heart.
It is because they see their family as their family, and not just a photo that was taken.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it's
we're gonna come back and ask y'all some more questions if y'all don't mind sticking around. That would be great. I'm gonna ask. I think I saw Mark come in. Hi, Mark. Hey. We're gonna. If you could unmute, good. There we go, Mark. And if, can I get you to mute, please?
Want me to mute?
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Hi, Sally. Hi, everyone.
Hey. All right, Mark, please tell everybody about you.
All right, about me. So I've been studying, self-help for so long, because I came from a family of warriors for so many years. And I started reading all kinds of books and studying it. And then I discovered Abraham Hicks' Law of Attraction. I thought the information was amazing. This is when she first came out. My aunt told me about her. So I wanted to master how it works. And I got the workshops twice a month for over 35 years. I really wanted to study. I studied every question and answer and experimented with myself and really wanted to learn high-level law of attraction. And I became certified in it. And then I became a certified life coach. And then I found FasterEFT. It's a modality. It's a tapping modality, which is amazing for big traumas, for anxiety, for clearing up memories in our past that are affecting our patterns, our unwanted patterns and problems today. And so we clear it up, and we actually change the memory, change the story, because memories are just, if I go and recall a memory right now, I'm recalling it the way it was imprinted on my brain, and then I'm bringing it up. And the idea is that every time we visit a memory, we change it. And in this FasterEFT modality created by Robert Gene Smith, we are using neuroscience to change how we hold the memory from where it's really bothering you to making peace with it. And that's how we do it. And then we create a new story that we attract from. So I believe FasterEFT is an amazing way to allow the law of attraction to work in our lives.
Okay, let me ask a couple of questions real quick.
Ma'am.
Okay, so we know that this is about intentions.
Yeah.
So what I know about myself is, okay, I'm 61 years old. All right. I have set so many intentions. I haven't set the right ones, because I wasn't in alignment. I didn't co-create them with my higher power. I did not think about them in many cases much further than, just tossing it out there. I didn't take action on them. And so what that does is that builds up a lot of the negative talk. If you're a person that has kind of like an active Mercury placement or something like that, then you've got that monkey brain that's talking to you in the background saying, you didn't do that right. You didn't do that right. You never do that right. You never. Blah, 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 blah. So how can we, and that can be traumatic into itself when you have so
Right.
many of those, especially when you go through periods of years of time, 2, 3, maybe even longer years of time, where things have not worked out. And it's been very difficult for you to get to your intention. Is there some way that we can clear all of that out and start, clear all that negative stuff out? Can you help us out?
I love the idea of intentions. I have lots of thoughts about a good way to set intentions. But to speak on what you're talking about, this self-talk, this monkey talk, this negative self-talk that I grew up with, and I catch myself at night doing it, and we catch ourselves. But I've worked so much on myself, and what we do what I do with my clients is we're going to go back and look at first, how did I learn this? Like, who am I modeling, or who talked to me in that way, right? So we go, let's say my dad was hard on myself. And if my dad was hard on me, I learned how to talk to myself from my dad and my environment. But sometimes we're modeling people. Sometimes someone was kind of hard on us, so we learn how to be hard on ourselves. So what I would do is go to those times. I would write down some memories. When do I remember a time when my dad was really hard on myself? Or what did he say to me often? And I will pick a memory, and this will represent all the times that he was hard on me. And that's what I will clear up with FasterEFT and using law of attraction principles. We'll clear it up. And we quantify it, we measure it. So at first, how much does this bother me? We have you step into a memory. And when your dad says that, and how do you feel? And, oh yeah, it's 0 to 10, distress level, it's a 10, it's really bothering me. And then we do some work with FasterEFT. It's relatively fast compared to years of therapy, talk therapy or whatnot. And we do certain things to interrupt that pattern of these neurons that are wiring. So when I think of something, let's say I think of an intention and I want to, be happier, let's say for next year, I want to learn how to be happier and lighter. And when I think of that though, something might come up as far as, well, you might not deserve it, maybe worthiness issues. And then again, finding those memories that might be related to that. And when I'm thinking of unworthy feelings, or when I'm hearing my dad saying these things to me, these neurons are wiring in a negative way. I'm let's say wiring the idea of me and worthiness of happiness. And those neurons that represent those two are firing that I don't deserve it. And what we do, we get it to a point where that is softened and lessened to the point where we rewrite it to where I'm feeling naturally that I deserve to attract what I want in its own timing, in the timing of the universe or God. And I step out of the way of being attached to it. And I can trust my higher power to bring to me what I need and who I need to become to receive what I want. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
yes, it did. Can you give us a short example? And I just want to encourage everyone. Mark has made a very generous offer. He is willing to, if you email him, I believe that's how we had him get in touch with you. It's in the link that I sent you. if he will give you a free 10-minute session. So who knows?
Longer than 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so
Yeah.
could give him a call,
Thank
right?
you. Yeah.
Or give him an email. Can you give us
So we'll
a
just,
kind of a little example?
thanks, Sally. Yeah, we'll just do a demonstration, and so that you can, because it's hard, I'm talking about it, you don't really know what I'm talking about, but when we do it together, you can feel it and you can understand how it works. And also I teach my clients how to do it for themselves. It's a tool. I don't want people to be dependent on me. I want to help empower people who want to be empowered, and they go and they do it and we work on themselves like I work on myself.
Great.
Yeah. So, if it's okay, Sally, I'll talk a little bit about intentions. I like to be, for one thing, there's lots of ways to think of this. Number one, there's an idea that our higher power really knows, or our higher self and the universe knows what we want. So the way that we are holding intentions and setting intentions is very important. Am I really needing what I think I need? And am I trying to make it happen? Am I trying really hard? Usually when we're trying really hard, we are actually blocking it. Am I trying to make it happen, or am I trusting my connection and trusting what comes up for me and knowing that my real work is to feel better, as Abraham Hicks would say? Nothing is more important than that I feel good. Well, that's easier said than done, but we have different tools. We meditate, we tap with FasterEFT, we go on a walk to feel good. And as we feel good, we raise our vibration, and two things happen. When we align with our inner selves, number one, the universe orchestrates events on our behalf. Someone will come into our experience and help us, or suggest a book or somebody to learn from, or a quote that really makes a difference, or we see a movie that touches us. Things happen that helps us when we're not trying as hard, when we're trying less. So when we trust that the universe will orchestrate events on our behalf, that means we don't have to try as hard. We just have to try to feel better. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Okay.
Please.
So we're talking about kind of like synchronistic events when you're in the flow, correct?
That's right.
Okay. But are you saying we don't have to try as hard? Does that mean when we set an intention, say to get out of credit card debt?
Yeah.
And then, you don't, or to work on a better financial freedom, we want to be financially free. Does that mean it's going to just magically happen? Or do we have to put action behind that?
Well, that leads me to the second thing that happens. The second thing that happens when we align with our inner selves and feel better is we will get inspiration for our next move. So are we working from motivation, where I should do this, I should set intentions, I should think about it and visualize it and really make a vision board? That some of that can be trying too hard. Or am I setting my intention with non-attachment, and am I enjoying the journey along the way? Do I think this thing is gonna make me happy? So as far as financial things, if I want to set an intention to be more financially free, well, we want to look at what are my beliefs about money and abundance, and where did I get those? And then we go again to how we grew up, our environment, and we change some of these memories that gave us the limiting beliefs, and we change that and rewrite it, and then practice the rewrites. And now we're rewiring in our brain some more towards what we want, and positivity and abundance.
Beautiful. Give us that demo.
So you want a demonstration? Okay, so what I'll do, should we work on one person? How about we can work on one person? Okay, does anybody have anything? So again, this modality is great for big traumas or just daily anxiety, or something that's bothering you. So for now, not to get too heavy or big, anybody have something, maybe an intention that they want, but they have doubts or reservations or resistance?
Put it in the chat, folks. Quick.
Yeah.
If you'd
Or you
like
can
to,
raise your
if you'd like
hand.
to be in the hot seat, in Mark's hot seat, Bo raises her hand, but Bo's the one. She's the first one up. So
Wow.
Bo,
Hi. Oh,
Hey,
hold on, let
Bo.
me put on my camera.
Hey, Bo.
Hi.
Hey, how are you? Okay, so what are you thinking about, Bo? What would you like to work on?
I am experiencing a creative blockage right now.
Okay.
Really intense creative blockage. I've been experiencing the block for months, and I've been trying to be patient and wait and not push, but I have deadlines.
You have
So,
deadlines.
yeah, that are
Uh,
quickly approaching.
I get that. You know, I was a music producer. I've done music. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I get the okay. So creative block. So let's do this. Do you have a memory that might represent a limitation? Yeah. Talk to me about
Yes.
that.
Just very specifically being told that I couldn't, who did I think I was to create
Okay.
this vision that I had?
Perfect. So Sally, how much time do we have? So I know where to go and how deep to get with it.
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes. Okay. All right, Bo. So close your eyes, take a deep breath. And I want you to go and be there and see what you saw and feel what you felt and hear what you heard. And remember that person telling you that. And also think of who that might remind you of from earlier as well. And all the time somebody doubted you. And from 0 to 10, how strong is this? Where 10 is very strong. How much is this bothering you? 0 to 10.
8.5.
Okay, 8.5. So notice what makes it an 8.5 for you. And now everyone else, you can tap along and I'm going to demonstrate how to do it. Just think about something you would like to work on. Doesn't even have to be what Bo is working on. It could be your own thing. And I'm going to be saying things and Bo, you're going to be repeating them, but you guys can repeat them, but your intention is to focus it towards whatever you're working on. Okay. So
Do I keep my eyes closed, or I'm sorry?
yeah, you can keep your eyes closed for now.
Okay.
And everyone else, go ahead and think about what you want to work on. And now, Bo, I want you to, and everyone else, imagine a tree in front of you, and I pull that tree out from under the ground. What happens to a tree without roots?
It dies.
Okay. All right. Now open your eyes and follow along and just repeat after me, Bo. And take 2 fingers, 2 hands with 2 fingers, and just tap and repeat after me and say, I'm eliminating all sadnesses.
I'm eliminating all
sadnesses. Between the eyebrows, we're tapping between the eyebrows. All sadnesses, all angers and resentments.
All sadnesses, all angers, all resentments.
Okay, side of the eye. Judgments, abandonments, betrayals.
Judgments, abandonments, betrayals.
Under the eye. All helpless and hopeless feelings.
All helpless and hopeless feelings.
Collarbone. All feelings of no control.
All feelings of no control.
What they said to me, the doubts.
What they said to me, the doubts.
It's not happening. I'm here right now.
It's not happening because I'm here right now.
And Mark has a corny joke for me.
Mark has a corny joke for me.
All right, now everyone grab your wrist. Take a deep breath, blow it out, whatever you're upset about, and say peace.
Peace.
Bo, how many lips does a flower have?
It could have many, 5? I don't know.
2 lips. 2 lips. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you can let go of your wrist now. And now let's go back again now and think about whatever they said to you when they doubted you. It wasn't 8.5. I want you to step into it now. And what is it now?
It's like a 5.
Okay. Notice what
Yeah.
makes it a 5. And just for the sake of time, we're going to try to speed it along. Tap and say, whatever this represents, let it go.
Whatever this represents, let it go.
They thought they were helping me,
They thought they were helping me,
but it's up to me now.
but it's up to me now.
I'm safe to create my own intentions.
I am safe to create my own intentions.
And I'm okay to expect creativity in its own time.
And I am okay to expect creativity in its own time.
And I let go and allow it.
And I let go and I allow it.
And if I have a deadline, I'll just do my best.
And if I have a deadline, I'll just do my best.
And that will be good enough.
And that will be good enough. Yes.
Drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab your wrist, deep breath, say peace.
Peace.
Now, Bo and everyone else, just please go to a happy memory where you felt good. You can let go of the wrist now. You felt good, peaceful, maybe with an animal, maybe your firstborn, maybe on a nice walk in nature, beauty. Everyone go there and experience it and tell me when you're there, Bo.
I'm there. It's making me a little emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that feeling that you have, send that to that time when that person was saying something to you where like, I don't know, who do you think you are to want this? Or send that to you and let it soften what that person is saying. Let it soften how you felt. Let it lessen its effect on you. Let it change even the room and how you felt and what they said. Tell me when you got that.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Good
there.
job. Grab your wrist, deep breath, say peace.
Peace.
So what we're doing, whenever we go into the issue and we, it was an 8.5, those neurons that, it's not happening now, but when we visit it, we fire those neurons. And then when we say a silly joke, or when you go into happy memory, or when we tap, we're interrupting those wirings. And if you're softer, what happened is if you're like, let's say that joke was purely 2 lips, what the heck, that's not, and it's silly. And what that does is it updates that memory of when it happened, but it's a little bit less now. It's a little bit less serious. And we keep doing that in and out, maybe tapping, happy memory, silly joke, distraction. And before you know it, you can go there and it doesn't bother you. You know it happened, but it doesn't bother you. So if you visit it now, Bo, 0 to 10, where are you at now? And everyone else, please.
I would say a 3. Like I can't even visualize it quite as much. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's like my mind doesn't even want to go there. Okay,
very good. So so let's just do this for the last round, Sally, for the sake of time. Bo, why don't you bring in, so be there now, and everyone else go to this situation if you have a situation. If it's just you with a limiting belief, you can do the same thing. Bo, if you can bring someone in, maybe an angel, maybe your inner self, maybe God, whatever your belief is, bring someone into that situation and have them tap everyone there with a magic wand and change everything. Change what was said, change the feeling. Maybe music comes on. Maybe people start dancing. Maybe your favorite song. Got it?
Yeah. Yes.
Good job. Grab your wrist, deep breath, say peace.
Peace.
So we're adding new neurons to this memory, music, magic wand, higher power, and then it changes how you hold it now. And we attract what we hold inside. So now what we usually do is tap it down to a 0. It was an 8.5 to a 3. Not sure what it is now. But yeah, what would you say it is now?
I'd say I'm down to a 1. I mean, that switching of the memory is really helpful. Yeah.
Which part was helpful?
The switching, like reimagining what was actually said.
Yeah.
And like I envisioned us dancing, and that was very helpful.
There you go. And some people, are more auditory. Some people are more visual. Some people are more kinesthetic. We have different ways to change how we hold on to it. So now, Bo, while we're there, now with that it's a 1 or a 0, now that we cleared it, Sally, right?
Yeah.
What would you like to put in its place, Bo? What would you like this person to say to you? Or if you're already rewriting it with dancing, maybe you guys didn't even say anything. You guys just danced and celebrated Bo. You know, it's whatever you'd like. So what comes up for you? How would you like to change how you represent this memory?
Thank you for sharing your light. And we just dance. We just bounce. We bounce up and down.
You just bounce. Okay, very good.
Like
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now you can, you know, as far as if I was working longer with you, now we will go to how you feel about this, you know, your intention of needing creativity and this deadline. And we will kind of do the same thing. We will tap directly on that issue, get it down to a 0, and then create a rewrite, maybe like a new mindset that it'll come to me if I just let go. I've been patient. I can continue to be patient. I can trust. I'll do my best. Whatever I come up with is fine. And I will have other deadlines and it'll all work out. You know, those kinds of mindsets instead of why isn't it coming? I need to do this, you know, instead of the pressure that we often have.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Bo, thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Bo.
stepping up and being so
Yeah.
transparent.
Thank you
And Mark,
so much
that
for
is-
the time.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And Mark, thank you. I mean, I can feel it working with me. So, Mark, where'd you go?
I'm here.
Oh, there we go. Okay. For some reason, I got a blank screen. That's so beautiful. I know we're going to have more questions. Let me just say what's in the chat here. We've got the energy, the vibrations are just, the frequency is really high in this room right now. It's beautiful. Marianne says that she loves this. It's very similar results as EMDR. I love the use ability. I love the use ability of the way Mark does this.
Thank you.
Marianne's very gifted into it herself and has lots of things in her wheelhouse. Bo says thank you, and I thank you. And if you can stick around, I'm sure there's going to be some questions afterwards. I know you're on a schedule, but with that said, everybody, next I'm going to call up Miss Jess Campmans. Jess is and be sure and take advantage of Mark's freebie, y'all. It's in that email. You know, book a session with him. He's being very generous. He's a wealth of he's just gifted, very gifted.
Thank you, Sal. And I'll just say, just for anyone listening, my email is my name with a W in the middle @gmail.com. Mark W. Shihadeh @gmail.com. Send me an email, say I'm interested, and we can set it up. Thank you, Sally.
Let me warn you, he is probably one of the corniest people I've ever met, but friend him on Facebook. He really has some good ones. So Halima says it was a great session. So that's really awesome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's get Jess up here. Jess, are you there? Can you unmute? Oh, she may not even be. She's having bad weather, so
I'm here.
see where she. Oh, yay! Hey, friend, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, MJ, are you around?
Yes, I am.
How'd you feel about that tapping session?
I like it. I like it.
I know. I thought that might be good for you. Jess, how about you?
I feel lighter, different overall. So that's really.
Yeah, I know. Good, huh? It's a gift. You look fabulous.
Thank you. I wish I was outside with my horses, but it's
I
way
figured you might have been trying to do that, but the weather's so bad there. Yeah.
So
Well, I know they speak to you anyway. So tell everybody about Jess and how you work, and tell me what's coming up intuitively, because you're just going to come up with something great about setting intentions or doing something with intentions. I know that. I know you take, this is what I know about Jess. Jess takes time when she needs it, and she thinks through very carefully what she does with purpose. She doesn't say anything lightly, and she speaks the truth. That's what I know about my friend Jess Campmans.
Thank you. That's actually incredible words, because kind of like you were saying initially, I used to just bulldoze through life, and it's been a learning curve, and in relationship with my horses has brought me to where I am today. I call myself Jess Campmans guided by Equus, because everything that I'm about to share is because I have been guided by my horses to connect to something that is beyond myself, my ego, my personal will, my desire to rush through everything so I can achieve and achieve and achieve. And it's actually brought me to slow down and go deep within, and find the sacred relationship that actually exists within all of us, and within everything that we are in relationship with. I am the lowest part of my chart, and I'll get into a story with that. Like the IC is Capricorn. And so I had no idea what a Capricorn was, because that was the darkest, deepest part of my chart. And there's a funny story. Well, everything in my life is, it's either laughing or crying about it. And I've realized that it's okay to do both, and it changes the energy, it shifts energy. And I'm a Libra rising. So have connections. And like you said, Sally, there is, we have every single part of the chart is part of all of us. And using astrology, I'm by no means an astrologer, but it's really helped me to uncover a lot of aspects of myself. And fascinatingly enough, using all of my horses, because I've raised Morgan horses since 1991. I was a 13-year-old, and we just bought a mare and two 2-year-olds, and she had a baby. And then things went on, and I've been raising Morgan horses for 30 years. And one of my dreams was to have this incredible herd of horses. And I've actually achieved that, not because I set out to do that, because they found me. And in their finding me, they also helped me find all of these soul pieces that I had buried or thought I'd lost. And so I'll kind of get into that a little bit. And I guess, so to bring this forward to intentions is that I do remember the first time someone told me about intentions, and that word hit me, that intentions are something that, how I kind of felt it was that it's an energy that we are in tension with. And so instead of actually making intentions, I've realized that I've, again, had a lot of mental capacity, and in having to let go of that, I just continue to have to surrender. And when I do that, I'm actually able to tap into that heart space and kind of become a channel. And again, I don't think I'm special. Well, I mean, I finally like myself, but we all have this capacity. And I also talk with my hands, and I love what our very first speaker said, because it was through his hands that he creates music. And for the longest time, I would hide my hands, I would chew my nails, or I would hide my hands in my pockets, or I would clench my fists, because our hands are here to help us as human beings serve. And so I've actually recovered that ability to talk with my hands, because I'm bringing that energy that's coming through me up and out, because it's a lot of words that kind of come through me. And so rather than, doing something with my hands, this is what I do with them, or I work in relationship. So the story about this whole Capricorn energy is that one of my mares, she's been with me for quite a while. She was born in 2008. And for the last couple of years, it seemed that she has a lot of anxiety and panic attacks, and she's really scared of anything that looks like a snake or sounds like a snake. And so I finally realized, like, what is she trying to help me understand? And then I went to like the shamanic wheel, and the snake is the lowest part of the chart. And then I connected that to astrology, and the snake, right, is in the south. And so the bottom of my chart is in the middle at 15 degrees Capricorn. And I had no idea I have a Capricorn son daughter, and actually I have a lot of horses that have a lot of planets in Capricorn, and I have my whole father's lineage that has a lot of Capricorn energy, and I had no idea how to deal with this, obviously, because it was in the depth of who I am. And so it's been a process of uncovering all of these things. I guess using that idea of intention that I shared with you guys, where I find myself in tension with something, like where I have tension within an energetic relationship, then I know that that is where I'm invited to embrace something, because that tension is created because I or all of us try to move away from it or avoid it. That was one of my really good techniques, was avoidance. So to be able to embrace it is coming back to that heart space, and kind of like each one of you guys have shared, to just put your hands on there and really open up to be able to receive, because there's wisdom in each one of these relationships. It's Allie, you.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so you're saying that intention is when there's tension, particularly with someone
or something,
rather than avoiding it. Yeah, or something, like whatever it is, quitting drinking wine, that's my big tension. So when you're in tension with that bottle of wine, it's more of that doesn't mean avoid stopping drinking. That means really face stopping drinking the wine, because you're being called to something about the wine, like why, to ask why, or a deeper reason for it, to go deeper into wherever that tension is. That's how you get an intuitive response on what kind of intention to set. Am I correct?
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Did you want me to keep going? Okay. And I guess to move forward with that, using your example, it might not even necessarily be the wine. And maybe I'll bring it back to my horses, because that has helped me find all of these places within myself that I'm in tension with, because horses are a mirror. And as I began to open up to this ability to be intuitive and empathic, again, which all of us have, and in some way, shape, or form, and I love that astrology can speak to those places within us where we can look to find that energy. And so a number of my horses have brought me to the point of threshold states of awareness, like, transitioning through life and death. And I remember when I was really young, that I was terrified to go to sleep. And so my mom and dad actually let me stay up all night long till I finally fell asleep. But I was pretty sure I wouldn't wake up in the morning. And I'm not too sure how that relates to what I'm about to share, but I know that something will come in. Okay. This is also how I also know that if I'm coming from a place of trying to help you guys understand something, that I have to just wait. And so to really be patient to let that energy come in. So it has to do with our fears, right? Often we are in tension with something that we fear, and that people can see our fears much better than we can. And so somebody can say, well, I don't know why you're so worried about that or scared about that. But we have a whole history with that specific energy that nobody else can understand. And then when we can kind of turn within and embrace that tension in that relationship, there is a gift within everything that only we can find if we turn in and kind of go there, I guess. And so kind of like that Capricorn energy, that deepest and darkest place within me, actually there's a huge gift in that.
Wow. I always pick up, like, every time I talk to you, which we talk maybe twice a year, we wish we lived next door, but sometimes we're talking horses. Sometimes I have a horse problem. I'll call Jess. But most of the time we're talking like girlfriends, or sometimes we're talking about business because we've done a few things. But I can tell you, okay, Joanne says, such good information. I will catch the rest on replay. Good. Thank you, Joanne. So, just letting you know that, like, every time I talk with you, there are these pearls of wisdom that just keep adding up. So if y'all are interested in Jess, please, 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 in what she does. She's got so much healing energy around her. She can get right to what she's able to talk to these horses. These horses talk to her. And it's a beautiful relationship, a spiritual relationship that they have. But aside from that, she's such a sage, and she has all kinds of wisdom, just deep wisdom. And so if you're interested in what Jess does, please click the link in the email that I sent you and get to know Jess. Right now, she's in the middle of my most favorite time of the year, Christmas. She does the 12 days of Christmas with her horses. And she's in the middle of that on Facebook. I don't know, is it on other social media? It is beautiful. Martha knows she's deep wisdom, was just going to say what I was going to say. So she was going to, yeah. So that's Martha. She's one of the mentors at the Ascension School of Spirituality. Just get in touch with Jess. Just say hi, friend her on Facebook, follow that link to her website, learn more about Guided by Equus and Sacred Horse Wisdom, because she'll explain it to you. She loves it. She's beautiful.
I have a question, Sally.
Oh, of course you do, horsey lady.
First of all, Jess, I'm inviting myself to be able to come visit you this summer and stand in the middle of all those horses. It dawned on me as you were speaking. I've been on a horse since I was less than 1 year old, and that is the truth. I believe everything is energy, and it is always clear to me, being on top of that horse, they feel your energy. And as you were talking, I was wondering, like, when we talk to each other, when we talk to people, our words get in the way and we say things, but they don't really know the energy behind, especially me, because I'm very good at not letting you know my energy. But when you're on that horse, not only are you one, especially if you ride well, but not only do you become one, their energy is your energy. And I have never been closer to God than flying on a horse above the earth and touching the earth with that power in my whole life. So I'm going to come see you, Jess.
I love that. Thank you, MJ. And I speak to that, I guess. It is the horses that speak to the liberation of ourselves, right? They speak to it in a way beyond words. And what MJ kind of shared, and if you're in with any of this, you probably very much have all of these gifts and learn to kind of cover those up to be able to navigate society. And the horses actually help us open that up again and liberate ourselves from all of those constraints that, I guess, and just to be able to express that freedom of self.
Yeah.
I love, anybody is welcome to come and visit and explore this.
Yay. So she does all kinds of therapy and stuff. It's really cool. So go visit Jess. Thank you so much. Hang around if you can, because I'm sure there's going to be some questions. Mwah. Okay, next I'm going to call up the amazing Carrie Severson. And then we've got Laurie, and then we're going to open it up to the Ascension School mentors. And they're going to add in their 2 cents. So not all of them were able to be here, but there are some great ones here. They're all great, but we're going to open it up to those nice ladies. So Carrie, can you come on, please? Can you unmute?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Jess, can you please mute? All right, let me tell you a little bit about Carrie, what my experience with Carrie is, because I think she originally asked me to be on a podcast or a radio show that she was doing.
Yep.
And I met Carrie and we became friends. And then we exchanged, I read for her a couple of times. And I can tell you, I was saying this before everybody, I let everybody in the room, that this woman has so much purpose. And if anybody knows how to work an intention, it is Carrie Severson, because she told me when I met her 3.5 years ago that she was going to be married, she was going to have a family, and that that was not just a real easy, hey, it's almost in the bag kind of thing. There was some work that had to be put behind that. And she said she was going to write another book, and she was going to open a publishing house, her own publishing house, because she was tired of getting the runaround from other publishing houses. So she just decided she was going to do it. And 3.5 years later, she has accomplished every one of those things. And she's written the Unapologetically Enough, which is, I think it's the second of that series, your fourth book.
Yes, that's my fourth.
Yeah. And it's gangbusters, you guys. You get it. Get it. You can find it anywhere. It's being sold everywhere. So with that, Carrie, please tell them more about you and why and why you, how you kind of, what your process is, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much, Sally, for including me in this. I love, this is totally my jam. So this is fun. I'm over here like rocking, and I can feel myself like moving energy, and I yawn when I move energy. So if I start yawning, forgive me. But so let's see, I've been in the storytelling space for 25 years, and I am a very intuitive, deep soul. And yeah, I love when I was a kid, I was bullied, and I had low self-esteem as a kid, and something shifted, and I decided I was going to change the way the media portrayed women so that women were nicer to each other and raising daughters that were nicer to each other. And that sort of drive, that purpose, has been this deep-seated calling for me since I was like 19. So I went off to college with that in mind. I was going to, change the world. And I've been chipping away at that pretty much ever since. So I did start a publishing house after years of finding my voice. My actual publishing house is called the Unapologetic Voice House, because I got tired of apologizing for being told I'm too much, or being told I'm not enough, or all these other pieces. So when I did decide to embrace my quirkiness and embrace my intuitive self and all of those pieces that make me unique, I decided to help girls do that themselves. So I started a nonprofit when I was, 12 years ago. It was a bullying solutions organization for young girls. And here's how intention sort of supported that. I came home, I felt the rat race. I was not doing what I was supposed to do. And it felt like I was consistently going uphill. And every day I was searching for somebody's validation. And every day I felt flat. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to wait for somebody to tell me I'm enough. I'm okay. I'm doing a good job. So I came home. I'm a journaler. I always have journals everywhere. I wrote down, what do I want to do with my life? What can I see myself enjoying? And what's the next step? And I waited for answers. I'm a meditator. I have a really great connection with God. And I just waited, and it didn't happen. So I started looking through magazines, and I decided to create a vision board, and I started pulling out materials that inspired me, that made me feel something other than what I was feeling. And so I have a very creative process around intention. It involves my feelings, it involves sensors, it involves my intuitive senses as well. And when I get clear on something, I feel into it. Am I aligned with this? Or is this something that my ego is like trying to pull in, right? So like if I'm feeling as though my intention is to be of service and help, at the time it was help girls relate better to the other girls. That was something that was on my heart, and I felt really called to that. If it were something, I know myself well enough to know that if my intention involves money or fame in any way, it doesn't happen. I always have to move from a heart space, from the feminine space, and from a service space. So that's something I've learned.
Let me ask you a question. So let's say someone has or is really, I used this earlier, really wants to, get their finances under control.
Yeah.
How would you approach that in that case?
I would approach it by coming at it from the perspective of, my intention is to be of service to individuals, organizations, and corporations, be nurtured for my service, and do good in the world through the gifts God's given me. So when I can stay in the space of service, really good things happen for me. What I've learned over the years of doing this multiple times is that I have to go with how I feel. And so, I got really clear on this nonprofit. I launched this nonprofit, and I caught this bubble of girl on girl bullying as it was starting to rise. It caught on fire. It went gangbusters. That was my first business. And I burnt out as a result of it. I couldn't keep up with the demand. It was so busy. And when I went back to my roots of storytelling to help me move out of burnout, and this was back in 2013, I caught burnout was a big thing that was starting at the time. And the book that I wrote is about my burnout journey that started back then. I had the intention of sharing my story, but it was from a place of ego. It was like, I want to be a New York Times bestseller. I want to make millions of dollars off of this. I want to be well known because of this. And it took 5 years of being told no by literary agents. I pitched 100 agents. I woke up one morning and I heard God say, be the house. And if I'm on this path long enough where there's so many opportunities for me to get out of my ego and get back into my heart, and if I don't follow any of those signs, it is then that somebody hits me over the head, speaks to me physically, be the house. And my first reaction was like, no way, Jose, F you, I'm not doing that. I launched other businesses. I burnt out from other businesses. I'm not going to do this. And that didn't work. So 9 months later, I launched a publishing house. And didn't put my book through the publishing process until I felt called to do it. And so again, here we are. The intention behind Unapologetically Enough was always to be of service, to help women specifically on their journey of understanding their enoughness, and to support individuals, corporations, and organizations experiencing burnout come out of burnout. That was what the intention behind Unapologetically Enough was when I started the publishing process in 2020. It launched in 2022 when burnout is like the thing every corporation is talking about. And now I am in negotiations with massive corporations to do burnout prevention programs in-house. And so again, it is the getting centered for me. It's a process of thinking about what do I really want to accomplish, and then feeling it already done, right? I mean, every person who talks about manifestation and intention will tell you, you have to feel it real in order for it to sort of like manifest, right? So I saw myself serving people on stage, speaking to them, lifting them up, getting them out of burnout, helping them shake off, some of the doubt that they must feel. And I feel that in my heart. I get really excited. I can feel that all down my belly. I can feel it in my legs. I get really excited. And I hold that in my heart. I write very much like Coby said, writing the thank yous. I love doing that. I write out like, thank you for the opportunity to lift others up and bring them out of burnout and help them see their enoughness. Thank you for the opportunity to use my gifts in the world. Yeah, I know that's a
Wow.
lot.
Oh, it's good though. That's exactly what he needed. So basically, if you don't drop down in your heart, so every single person here has spoken about, it's got to come from the heart. So that's all about probably, I guess you would say that's the embodiment part of it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
And the
but
alignment.
for sure. And it's a question like the intentions, like Mark was saying, that if you're doing and doing and doing, for me, doing and doing and doing, it is the masculine energy for me. And it's when I burn out. It's when I actually block the stuff from coming in. And so this year specifically, releasing this book with the intention of knowing its mission is this massive mission. My thing this year was to get out of my own way and to be the vessel for it to come through. And that meant that I had to like kill my ego, completely release attachment to anything I had, and trust the process. And so I'm consistently dropping into my heart. I'm always like, what do I really want? What is the intention? My intention is to feel at ease, as if this is an easy thing and I'm just falling into it and I'm just flowing down this river, and embracing my confidence and the excitement that like I am a leader in this arena and I get to give the gifts that I've experienced out to others so that they are able to embrace their enoughness.
Oh, wow. That's great. I'm so happy for you. And it gives me so much, I don't know, it just gives me comfort knowing that,
Yeah.
when you're doing something good, it works. When you're doing the right thing, it works. When you're helping somebody, it works all the way around. Mark, our earlier speaker, said he loves hearing your story and your wisdom, Carrie.
Thank you so much.
And also Martha Jensen, who's a mentor at the Ascension School, says, thank you for your authenticity.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to drop my, if you guys want to connect or talk to me about any of the things that you're out creating, specifically intentions around creation, that's the book website. Intentions around creation, when it comes to something that you are writing, something that you're literally in the process of putting together. I have such a unique way of looking at it because it took me 8 years to put Unapologetically Enough out into the world. And I rewrote the book 4 times. 3 of them were, 50,000 words, Control Alt Delete, and everything went away. The last time I created it from, I think, the most feminine space I think I have, and connecting to it at such a nurturing space that it is the best thing I've ever created. It's my favorite piece I've ever written in 25 years of being a professional writer. And I think it's because I did it from that creative flow that it is on this powerful trajectory. And I just get to be this vessel and consistently stay in my heart. And that actually is harder. It's sometimes really hard.
Yeah.
But
well, of course it's really hard when you're raising a when you just got married, a couple of years ago, and you got a family and, all that stuff. Plus you're trying to run businesses, and then it's also been the years and the situations that we've had.
Yeah.
So it's very hard. And there's not one person in this room that hasn't experienced it. Carrie, thank you so much. If you can stick around, because I'm sure there's going to be some more questions. Also said, we've also got, you're inspiring to hear, which is awesome. And then also, Halima says, thank you. Seems like you had experienced burnout to deepen your ability to help and to speak with a voice that has integrated all previous attempts to do that feminine flow. Congrats.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I experienced
you.
burnout several times. I think everyone
Yeah.
experienced burnout in 2020, but I experienced it like twice before that. So definitely understand that.
Oh yeah, we've got a collective burnout, so everybody can understand it. But I think everybody's been somewhere. I just don't know that that we've all pulled our bootstraps up and connected to our heart like you have. Actually, everybody in this room probably has. So we know how to do this, folks. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Okay. Laurie Perkins, can you unmute?
Yep.
Y'all look up Carrie Severson. No kidding. She, she really wants to see what you're working on. Okay. So let me tell you about this girl. Also, I've read for her. She's in a couple of my groups, but we just clicked immediately. She has such a wonderful energy, and she's very unique in that she has a ton of modalities, but she is the quintessential healing practitioner, energy healing practitioner. And I would say she leans more toward a medical side. I would think that's kind of her wheelhouse, but I'm gonna let her tell you about her. We're going to put her in a big bubble of love, however this all comes up, but she needs a lot of love today. So let's send her, just take a minute, take a big deep breath. Let's all connect our hearts to Laurie right now. Okay, Laurie.
Well, damn it, Sally, I'm going to cry right off the bat.
Well, you just go right ahead.
I was not going to, but now you're just making me.
I didn't mean to.
No, it's good. Crying is always good.
Okay.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm glad you've waited till the end so far and let me do some talking. I'm going to try not to do too much. I'm a big blabbermouth, so I can talk someone's ear off. But so yes, I am an energy medicine practitioner, and do it through an intuitive lens, and I have lots of different modalities that I do. But I'm going to focus mainly today on what is called Jin Shim Jytsu. And I'm going to focus on it for several reasons, but the reason I think Sally is asking for heart connection and my heart and throat chakra, I'm going to have to be clearing it a lot. My grandmother passed away last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not sad because she was 99 and ready to go. She was very stubborn and ready to go. She would not make 100. She said, no way. But interestingly, I do energy medicine at a hospice care center. And so me not being able to be physically with her in Ohio, because I'm in Chicago, I was on the phone with my father telling him to use Jin Shim Jytsu, the energy medicine modality I use most often. And she passed peacefully within like 20 minutes of him doing Jin Shim on her. So I'm going to teach some Jin Shim to everybody today. Excuse me while I dab my tears away. Ready to go. Okay, so yes, I use a bunch of different modalities, but Jin Shim Jytsu is one of my favorites because it has a self-care component. And the self-care component is using our hands. So we can do this at any time. We walk around with our hands all the time. And I'm going to read a little bit about what Jin Shim Jytsu is. But before I do that, I would like everyone to immediately start doing Jin Shim Jytsu because it's magical. It's wonderful. So I'm going to teach 2 different what we call quickies. The first thing I'm going to introduce is a quickie of a quickie, and that'll make sense in a little bit. So the first point that I'm going to have people hold is the center of the palm. You can choose any one, go to the one you're intuitively drawn to go to. You can hold the center of the palm like this. You can hold it like this. You can hold it in prayer position, or in the Japanese modality I use, it's called palm inju. So whatever's most comfortable, you can place it in your heart center, you can place it in your lap. There are not a lot of rules, just be really comfortable and relaxed. So that's the first thing. So while we're doing that, that's going to be connecting to you into what we call the umbilicus function energy. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. But first, so Jin Shim Jytsu, I wrote this down because I thought if I started babbling, we'd be on here for an hour. So Jin Shim Jytsu, first of all, Jin means in Japanese, person of consciousness and compassion. And then the Shin is creator or source, and Jutsu is art. So when you put Jin Shim Jytsu together, it means the art of the creator expressed through the person of knowing and compassion. And so we are the person of knowing and compassion. Sometimes we forget our knowing, our wisdom, and sometimes we don't have compassion, but this brings it back to us through this hands-on healing modality. So, and you're doing it right now. So Jin Shim Jytsu, it's an ancient Japanese hands-on healing art that helps harmonize and balance the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of our being. It helps everything. My clients sometimes come to me for physical ailments. They walk away with a more open mental, emotional, and spiritual connection. So it doesn't just help one thing, it helps everything. We in Jin Shim Jytsu work on what we call safety energy locks. So they are sacred sites on the body, and there are 26 of them, and they're mirrored. So for example, the 22s right here under the collarbones, there's a 22 on the right, a 22 on the left, and a 22 in the center. And holding these sacred sites, it is a little bit like acupuncture, but instead of needles, we are using our hands to help the energy pathways open up and reorganize and rebalance. There are, like I said, there's 26 on each side. And when these energy pathways within the body get blocked or stagnated, or sometimes even overloaded or weakened, using our hands-on healing, we can help clear that. And we have spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical issues based on so many things. It could be our environment and toxicity. It could be, like they were talking about earlier, traumas that are stuck and trapped within the fascia. It can be patterns of behavior we learned from childhood. And all of these things get stuck in our energy field and the meridians of the body. And so what Jin Shim tries to do is, by touching these places, we're opening the pathways back up. And that brings us back to that blueprint, that original health that we came in with. And I like to call it remembered wellness. So it's not only on a physical level, it's on a soul level as well. And so talking about what Sally brought up at the beginning in astrology, I use astrology with Jin Shim Jytsu every day in my practice because they're connected. So talking about 12 zodiac signs, there are 12 organ flow meridians, as Chinese would say. We call them function energies in the body. Aries, right? The first sign, that's the lung meridian, the lung pathway. Taurus, large intestine. Gemini is the stomach. So you can continue through all the 12 signs. And of course, today we're talking about Capricorn. So Capricorn being the 10th zodiac sign, it is the umbilicus function energy in the body. So it's really cool because MJ said, as above, so below. We are bringing the cosmos and the energy of the archetypal Capricorn or Saturn right down into the body. So as above, so below. Jin Shim Jytsu harmonizes the cosmic energy within us. So it's macro and micro. So doing this is the quickie of the umbilicus energy. So it is moving Capricorn energy. So if you are one of my clients and you came to my place tomorrow or even on Friday with the new moon, sun and moon in Capricorn, you are for sure getting an umbilicus flow. It's going to happen. And you might get an umbilicus flow on other days if you have Capricorn in a important part of your chart. And like they were saying, Capricorn's in all of our charts. So everyone can use this flow to help harmonize that house that it's in. If you have Saturn or hard Saturn aspects, umbilicus is helpful. Saturn has been playing with us for the past couple of years. being a little bit difficult sometimes, this would help harmonize that. So it's really apropos that the energy shifting tomorrow and initiating into a new season, doing the umbilicus flow is going to initiate that energy within us. Does that make sense?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So,
That's so cool.
yeah. So I wanted to move on a little bit and just talk about what the umbilicus energy does in the body. Obviously, it reflects back on Saturn. So what you know about Saturn, if you know about Saturn, it has stuff to do with boundaries, our structure, our foundation, and the umbilicus flow is also involved in all of that. So I tried to break the umbilicus pathway down a little bit, and I wanted to show this. This, if everybody can see, I thought I could share, but I don't think I'm able to on here.
Yeah,
This
we can see it.
Can you?
Kind
Okay.
of.
So this is sort of the pathway of the umbilicus energy. You can see it's sort of in the head, it goes around the heart, it goes down the arm. And everyone today is talking about the heart and the heart chakra and the heart energy. The umbilicus flow or pathway is called the heart protector. So in doing this flow, you are putting that bubble of protection around your heart.
Ooh.
It opens the heart up. It allows us to nurture and to connect on a heart level. So as we're doing this, that's happening. And as we're doing this, that's happening, which you can see when people are in prayer, it's always happening.
Ah,
That energy,
it's beautiful.
right? So the umbilicus, medical, if you're doing this, you are in the medical, we are helping joint pain. Well, that's Saturn, right? Bones and joints and rheumatism. There's where umbilicus connects to astrology. It also helps our metabolism, our thermostat, the actual structure in our spine, which again is Saturn and Capricorn. On the mental emotional level, the umbilicus flow helps. It's called the heavenly mother, because the umbilicus flow is our umbilicus pathway to source. So it's not the umbilical cord to our mother, it's to source, capital S. So you are connecting on a source level and resourcing yourself. It's called the great nurturer and the great connector. And sometimes we need to connect more warmly with others, but often we lose connection with ourselves. And so the umbilicus flow and the quickies actually connect us to ourselves as well. It also brings emotional balance. And on the spiritual level, which is why it's so perfect for today, we are shifting from the dark into the light, right? That's what the solstice means. Sun stands still and then starts to build. Well, the umbilicus flow grounds light from source into the body. So what's happening tomorrow when the days start growing longer and the sun starts being out more, the umbilical flow that you're doing on yourself with this quickie, you are building the light and grounding it into your energy system. So
Nice.
it's just like it circulates warmth and joy, and it starts a new season, just like we're doing tomorrow and again on the new moon on Friday.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so I wanted to show one more thing, and then if
Okay.
anyone has questions. Okay, so this is the quickie of the quickie. That's just the easiest one to do. But
Mhm.
I love the first step. So what we do is we call it flows. We will hold sacred sites on the body in a certain pattern to move the flow of energy within the system. So if you come to me, I would do the whole flow. But the quickie of the quickie for the umbilicus is this. But my favorite is the first step of the flow. So I'm going to explain how to do that. So take your left hand and place it in the bend of your right elbow. And then you're going to take your right hand and put it above your left eyebrow. So we are crossing the midline. So we are bringing two sides of the brain together for extra power. So again, the left hand is in that crook of the elbow and the right hand is over the left eyebrow. This is the first step of the actual flow I would do on you. So I would ask if you feel comfortable to close your eyes, and you're going to drop your shoulders, because our shoulders start coming up when we are in tension. And today we're setting intentions, but we don't want our intentions to be intention. So drop your shoulders. The shoulders are where we hold the burdens, and we're going to let those burdens fall off our shoulders. And as we place that left hand in that crook of the elbow, in Jin Shim Jytsu, this is safety energy lock 19, and it is called stand in my own authority. Well, who rules authority? Saturn.
Saturn.
So you are standing in the authority, self-determination, self-realization. It's setting the attention that I am my own authority. I follow my intuition. I know what's best for me, just by holding that crook of the elbow. And there's no pressure put on it. There's no manipulation of it. It's just a light, lovely hold. And above the eyebrow is seeing through the eyes of the creator, seeing the bigger picture, not getting bogged down, seeing things that are out into the universe. They expands your vision. So that's what we're doing, is we're standing in our own authority. And when we do that, then we can expand our vision. We can blast off into the universe. And so while you're holding this, I thought of 3 intentions that connected the umbilicus flow. And you can go back to this if it's more comfortable. The umbilicus flow to our Capricorn astrology of today and Saturn and of Friday. First of all, boundaries. Both are about boundaries. We know that Capricorn and Saturn are about boundaries and setting boundaries. And this umbilicus flow is about individuation, which to me is also boundaries. It's knowing your own lane, staying in your own lane, not being dragged out by the dramas of politics and all the stuff going on. It's you individuating from others, because that's when the umbilical cord is snipped, right? We are no longer a part of our mother. We have individuated. So this helps you to become your own and stand in your own authority. So boundaries is an intention, and alignment, which we know is Saturn and Capricorn. And this is capital A alignment. To me, the umbilicus flow is not little a, which is your spine, but it's, am I in alignment? And I know that they were just talking about that, right? We were just talking about being in our true alignment. And then the last one that I had written down was the umbilicus flow. The reason I love it, it's one of my favorite flows to do, or quickies as we're doing. It brings stillness. It brings stillness, and in the stillness, the light comes from the darkness. So it's a super powerful flow, and I love that it's just the perfect flow for the solstice. And I could go on, but I'm gonna.
Oh, well, stick around, because we may have some people want to stay and ask some questions. Laurie, that was so powerful. You know, I did a brief rundown of astrology at the very beginning, but I neglected to talk about the new moon in Capricorn on Friday. So you're right. You know, this is from tomorrow. I think it's around 5 or something. The solstice, you know, we are going to be doing, this is why I wanted to do this time, because not only are we having the solstice, but we got this new moon. So we're just going to do nothing but gain light until the summer solstice. We have all of this opportunity to have the light shining on our highest, what's in our highest and best. And so, you know, I know that for everybody out there, we all want to be happier. We all want to be healthier. We all want to live our best lives, our best version of us. So also a little bit of astrology here is that Jupiter, which, just real quick, tell me what Jupiter is in this Jin Shim.
Well, yeah, because it's going into Aries, right? So you can look at
Yes,
Jupiter.
it's 0 degrees. It's at 0 degrees Aries, and it's
my north node. So I'm ready. Right?
okay.
So
Okay, so it's
Jupiter-
been, just real quick, hold on. It's been made 3 dances, very close dances or exactitudes with Pisces, with Neptune and Pisces. Neptune being the ruler of Pisces, and it's over with that now. I called Jupiter Mr. Big. So it's going to go on, and it's moving into Aries. So we've got this fire. What we have is big fire, big initiation, cardinal energy, big cardinal energy. And it's coming in it. It's going to be in the solstice, it's going to be at 0 degrees, which is a very sensitive spot for any planet to be in any sign, but particularly Jupiter in a cardinal sign. So this is just amplifying the light for us.
And I love it because guess what? This is umbilicus flow, Capricorn.
Yes.
The sister flow, because there's yin and yang, and guess what? Umbilicus is yang, but Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is yin, and it's right here too.
Oh, wow.
For you to harmonize Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius, we hold here. If you want to look at Aries, we look at the long flow. But if you are doing this quickie, you are harmonizing Jupiter and Capricorn solstice at the same time.
Beautiful. I think, boom, it's a drum roll. Yay. All right. Thank you, Laurie. Please put the way to get in touch with you in the chat. And it's also, you guys, it's also in the email that I sent to you. Okay. If all of I'm going to put it on a gallery view. And if I could get all of the Ascension School people to do what we do, that would be great. All the wonderful mentors at the Ascension School. Anybody that's here. I see Mary Ann's here, Wendy's here. We've lost a few people, but that's okay. This is going to go out to some other folks. I know y'all been sitting there just thinking about all the things that are coming forth with you. Can you share with me a little bit if you have something to some wisdom to impart? Mary Ann, that's you. That would be you. Or Wendy, and she doesn't put her camera on, so I don't know if she's willing.
Well, Martha Jensen is here as well. I see.
I don't see Martha. Oh, there she is. I don't see where she is. Oh, it's her number. There she goes.
Okay.
Oh, she needs to leave in a few minutes. Well, then, Martha, you speak first.
Yeah, let's put
Unmute yourself, Martha.
a Reiki class coming up.
Yeah, Martha has a Reiki class, Reiki 2. You do not have to be she and Lisa Bolton teach Holy Fire Reiki. Oh, are you in, Martha? Oh, there she is.
I am. I'm going to a basketball game.
Okay. Well, real quick,
my
what did you think about, what's your real quick on intention? And then also just real quick, talk about the Reiki course.
Okay. What do you mean by intention? What?
Well, we've been talking about intentions.
Okay.
And I know
okay.
you're wonderful at setting them. So did one thing stick out for you today? Did you?
I got so much good information and so many of these people had things. I mean, I did the tapping with Mark, and it's like, oh, I was starting to feel emotional too. You know, we think we're over some of these things, but there's always, seems like it's a deeper level, like they say, peeling the onion. And so it allowed me to reflect and realize that, okay, it's time to set more intentions, even if it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was impactful for me. I never quit learning. And I'm, you know, I think all of us would agree that we're always willing to learn more. We want to learn more because it hasn't stopped. Just because we are where we're at right now doesn't mean that we're never going to grow anymore and that we're at the top level. I think that will continue on for the rest of our life, in this life.
Absolutely. And you are a perpetual learner. You're very curious and specifically about any kind of healing modality. She is an energetic, Martha is an energetic healer. She's one of my dearest friends, and I have received many healings from her. She's a Reiki master, a Holy Fire Reiki master. And her and Lisa Bolton do double Reiki together. And so if you want to learn more, they're going into the level 2 in January. It's so affordable, you guys. If you've taken level 1 and or if you just need an upgrade, like, Holy Fire Reiki is an upgrade, definitely check out this class. And then she'll have her Reiki master class it starts in April or May.
Oh, gosh.
No,
yeah,
the
you're right,
master.
March. I
The
think
master.
it's March. I have to look.
Is it
too.
March?
I forget the exact dates, but I'm pretty sure it starts in March.
Yeah. So it's time to sign up for the Reiki 2. And again, the only prerequisite is that you have some type of Reiki 1. Reiki 2, Holy Fire Reiki is a little different, but I will send out all of her information to get you some, to get the goods on the Reiki classes when I send you the recording. Martha, thank you. I know you got to run to a basketball game.
Well, I just wanted to share that Lisa and I were just talking the other day, and we both have taken Reiki 2 more than once. We felt important to take it again for whatever reason, whether, a clearer understanding. And I think that was both of our reasons. We just felt like we needed a little bit more depth and understanding. And the Holy Fire adds such a dimension to the Reiki you already know too. And that just comes along with it. It's not like it's anything different. So I'll just let someone else talk. I wanted to share that. Thank you, Sally. This was awesome. Thank you.
Love you. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Marianne, you have anything to add? Oh, you're muted, sweetie.
I love you, Sally Boyd.
I love you too, Marianne.
This has been wonderful. Carrie, Laurie, Coby, Allison, Jess, Mark. I mean, this was wonderful grouping of folks. And I learned from everybody. I have questions for each one individually. So I'll go ahead and do that on my own. But Laurie, oh my gosh, when that point is really painful on both sides, mostly my left. I mean, really painful.
The left of the past is clearing the past. Past energy that gets trapped in the fascia, that would be the left side. So anywhere there's pain, it's something that's stagnated there that needs to move.
I mean,
But from the past, not right now.
Wow.
Yeah, really painful on the left, a little bit on the right, not as much. So I was like, and it was so painful, I got nauseous. So I'm like, oh boy, I got something to do there. So thank you, Sally and MJ, for doing this. This is wonderful. And I'm not promoting me today. I'm here to receive. So I just,
Okay.
I just
I'll speak a little bit about Marianne. She didn't have to promote herself. And this isn't a big promotion event anyway. But
Right.
Marianne is Marianne does an oracle card. She's an intuitive. She works with ancestry, but her thing is she's an incredible artist, and it all comes from someplace else and some sacred numbers and stuff, some process that she goes through that's freaking amazing. And she does these soul life charts. It's based on the astrology, and then it's just really amazing. So I highly recommend. I'll send her link as well. And I really, she's a mentor at the Ascension School. Very grateful that she's here. What about Wendy? Wendy, you want to come on? Wendy may have. No, I think she's good. Okay. Does anybody in the left have any questions? Just raise your hand. All right. Oh, Martha. Marianne is talented in so many ways, Martha says. You guys, this has been really an amazing, this has far exceeded my expectation as far as content. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay. Not near as you. This has far exceeded my expectations as far as content. And I think that this really has a lot to do with my intention was to just give y'all something that would mean something, and it would give you something of value that you could take forth, and it could kind of get you to at least start thinking about what we need to do to prepare for the upcoming year. I hate the word resolutions. And sometimes I feel like I am in tension with my intentions. I think that's probably the one thing that really spoke to me today. If anything did, all of it did, but that stuck out for me. And really, as I'm, preparing, I'm working on my intentions. I have an new intention every day. But as I do it, I think the other thing that really spoke to me was that I have to somehow get it from up here down to here. So I don't know if it's going to be Mark talking to me about tapping or Carrie, what Carrie said. I have to listen to, or the Jin Shim crossing, holding my umbilicus. I don't know what's going to happen, or listening to Coby's music. I don't know how this is all going to work, but I know for sure I can always go out to my horses. And if I have a problem, I can call Jess. And I got my good friends here from the Ascension School, and I can always look at that beautiful grid and pick up my crystals or call my friends. So there's something to lift me up all the time. And I hope you each have something that lifts you up and gives you enjoyment and grace and beauty like this did today. So keep your light shining, because we all need more light. Okay. All right. Blessings and stars. Love, love. Thank you. Now, this is going to be sent to you in recording. It'll be on YouTube. I'm going to split it up individually, so everybody has something on YouTube that they can just point to. Okay. Bye, you guys.